Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Windward Buddhist Temple Family Service. This is our last Sunday service of 2024. What happened? My name's Jennifer Kane. I'll be your MC this morning. It's really nice to see all your bright smiling faces out there. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or Kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is the calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma, or teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seats. If you are able, please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English. This can be found in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 7.
Gacchami Dhammam
Please be seated. Today's sutra is Juseige. A brief description of the sutra. It's found in the larger sutra. Bodhisattva Dhammakara repeats 3 of the 48 vows. The 12th vow, Dhammakara, desires to realize his limitless light, wisdom. The 13th vow, Dhammakara, desires to realize his limitless life, compassion. And the 17th vow, Dhammakara, desires to realize the name as Amida Buddha. Please turn to the red Jodo Shinshu service book to chant Juseige, which can be found on page 54. The chant starts on page 55. If you are able, please rise for the recitation, Shinshu Pledge II, which can be found in the red Jodo Shinshu Service Book on page 6. In trusting in the vow of the Buddha and reciting the sacred name, I shall proceed through the journey of life with strength and joy, revering the light of the Buddha and reflecting upon my imperfect self. I shall strive to live a life of gratitude, following the teachings of the Buddha and discerning the right path. I shall spread the true Dharma, rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding others. I shall do my best to work towards the welfare of society. Please continue to stand. We'll be singing the Gatha Gentle Hands, which can be found in our WBT Supplemental Service Book. That's the purple book, page 17. Please be seated. Please welcome our resident minister, Reverend Saul Kalu. He's going to be sharing a message, the Gomonshu's message, with us, and then he'll give us our Dharma Talk.
This New Year's greeting is a tradition that is practiced in the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist tradition every New Year service. But since we don't have a New Year service, and today is our year end, I would like to deliver this message from the Gomonshu. New Year's greeting. Happy New Year. At the beginning of the new year, I would like to extend my warm regards to all. As in previous years, many people throughout the world have been affected by natural disasters, including earthquakes, floods, and forest fires. I would like to offer my deepest condolences to all who have perished in those calamities. I also would like to express my sympathies to those still coping with dire situations. It is my sincere hope that all who have been affected will soon be able to return to normalcy. In addition to the continuing Russian invasion of Ukraine that began in February 2022, armed conflict in the Middle East since October 2023 has intensified, putting a toll on civilians. As Buddhists, let us all embrace the words of Shakyamuni Buddha that, quote, everyone fears violence and fears death. In consideration of all life, do not kill and do not make others to kill, unquote. We as human beings who have received life in this world shall have our human rights equally guaranteed, regardless of reason, and must never have our lives threatened. However, in reality, conflicts and terrorist attacks have occurred everywhere in the world, and for many people, their right to live and exist has been threatened. As Buddhists, as well as Nembutsu followers who aspire to achieve peace, we must keep seriously in our hearts the words of Shakyamuni Buddha, as well as Shinran Shonin, who aspired for a peaceful world in pursuing our endeavor of contributing toward world peace and security. Through the Jodo Shinshu teaching, we are guided to appreciate Amida Buddha's working that enables us to become aware of our true self. Being caught up in our self-centered thinking and desires, we are unable to accept the universal truth of dependent origination and impermanence, and that is why we constantly suffer from our human desires. Unable to leave us in such a state, Amida Buddha continuously works to lead us to the Dharma. By regarding each individual as a fellow traveler following the same path, being guided and embraced by Amida Buddha, we are enabled to respect and help each other while courageously coping with difficult social issues. Let us continue listening and appreciating Amida Buddha's working as Buddha's followers while cherishing each and every day. January the 1st, 2025, Otani Kojun, Gomonshu, Jodo Shinshu Hongwanji. I will now deliver my message for this service. Let's put our hands together in Kansho. Let us all be thankful for this day, for we have learned a great deal. If we have not learned a great deal, then at least we learned slightly. If we did not learn slightly, then at least we did not become sick. If we did become sick, then at least we are still living. So let us all be thankful. The quotations from Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning and advanced Happy New Year to all of you. Welcome again to this morning's Sunday service, the last service for this year 2024. I hope you will all have a good New Year's Day celebration coming up with family and friends, and I wish you all a very pleasant and productive 2025 ahead. It is rather unfortunate that I will not be having such Happy New Year celebrations because of recent sad events that happened in my life. Anyway, the changing of the year from the old to the new in our simplest terms, understanding, is when the 12 months of a given calendar year ends and the cycle is reset for the coming year. Same number of days and months except on leap years, when an extra day is added to compensate. This is how the calendar is formulated. In other words, we human beings have divided the naturally occurring cycles of the rising and setting of the sun, the changing appearance of the moon, and the temperature of the seasons into units of time. And we base our daily activities, what we could plan and accomplish, celebrating events, on this concept we call time. Of course, this is all for convenience and efficiency, since time, as we know, moves only in one direction, and once passed can no longer be retrieved. To spend time on useless activities is considered foolish and unproductive. It is indeed so, because once passed, time cannot reverse its course. Time is gold, as the saying goes. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. Good planning gets half the work done, and so on. A man's productivity is measured by how skillful he manages his time. Properly managed, time can be a useful tool to increase man's productivity. Badly mismanaged, it can be a source of anxiety and suffering, as in meeting work deadlines. I am notorious for that when submitting newsletter articles. I'm always late, or catching planes or other modes of transportation, or running out of time just when a solution to a long-standing problem is about to come up. That happens. It's frustrating, isn't it? In situations like these, time becomes the controller, not man himself. Man becomes a slave of time, and we all know how time ravages our bodies and physical appearance. The well-worn cliche about the new year also meaning a year older in age has always been true. I used to not want to hear that, but as the older I get, with each passing year, it seems the more that I am able to accept that universal truth. The question is not, how old are you? But rather, how old do you feel? Some people seem to not understand nor accept aging as it occurs to them. Most of us like to look young, of course, but no matter how much money and time one invests in cosmetics and plastic surgery, a 60-year-old man or woman can never be made to look exactly like when she or he was 20. No can. I'm sorry to say that. Unless one is so hopelessly vain, I think how a person feels is much better than how he looks, as it refers to growing old. One might live up to 100 years or more, but if his health is so poor and suffering because of it, then that is not really living, but merely existing. In this case, quality of life is better than quantity. Time, linear time as we understand it, is actually a convenience that man invented based on the rotation of the earth on its axis and its revolution around the sun. Without that as a reference point, time does not really exist, but rather change is what we see and experience in reality. And change is the one thing that the Buddha taught that is constantly happening. We are born, we grow older, we get sick, and someday die because we are subject to the laws of impermanence, which is one of the 3 marks of samsaric existence. Now that is very appropriate because I myself experienced that law of impermanence recently, as you all know. I always tell people, to accept death as a part of living, but when it happens to somebody like myself, close family member, it is really very difficult to accept. But that is a given reality we all face, Unfortunately, we don't grow younger as the years go, but grow older. That being the case, in the realm of the Buddhas, in nirvana, or the Pure Land, time does not exist. In the Pure Land, nobody greets each other Happy New Year because there is no New Year. There's no New Year 2025, 2026, and so on. It is the timeless reality which is very difficult for us ordinary minds to understand. So conditioned that we are to measure time. There is no creation nor destruction. Life and death does not exist. There is no dualistic thinking, no fear, sorrow, anger, hatred, and all forms of suffering. We as Pure Land Buddhists should not lose sight of that and aspire to be born in that realm that Amida Buddha created for us. Enlightenment is timeless. It is an experience beyond the process of the mind, conditioned by time. Hence, it is beyond time and therefore beyond the thought processes. It is the experiencing of the timeless present. It is where the pure Dharma operates. Pure Dharma, simultaneously arising and ceasing. It is the experiencing of reality. The Pure Land is ultimate reality. What we have right now is conventional reality. It is beyond mind and time dimension. It is where the thought processes activated by impure thoughts do not operate. It is where the reality exists and the illusion of self is realized. It is the realization of the mind's own ignorance with the dawn of wisdom. It is where personalization does not exist. So in other words, in the Pure Land, I'm no longer I or you or whoever else. There is no such thing anymore. Yeah? We all become one with the Buddha. We say Happy New Year to everyone we know and meet with good intentions. We reflect on the meaning of the year that just passed and the year that just came, and we feel gratitude for the many things and favors we receive from others that enabled us to have had a happy, comfortable life and to continue on living. We can say the words Happy New Year and express goodwill and thanks to everyone until perhaps the end of February, when it becomes a Gunghi Pat Choi, I think. But the reality of our life is, it is not only on New Year's Day that we reflect and express gratitude. Actually, every day, every morning when we wake up and see the sun shining, breathe the air that sustains our life, eat food that is the result of the efforts of others that enables us to live, truly, these are moments of thankfulness. I am alive, living in the here and now, thanks to all of you and countless others whose efforts have created the conditions for my continuing existence. You are part of my life, as well as I am a part of yours, according to the concept of interdependence and oneness of life that are very important teachings of the Buddha. And so, on this New Year year-end service, we finally bid farewell to the year 2024 and welcome New Year 2025. I look back at the events of 2024, and I can say honestly that it's bad, but it's not hopelessly bad. Sure, there were moments when everything seems not going well. Those nasty dialysis treatments, for example, gave me much pain and discomfort. And of course, the sadness of seeing a most beloved member of my family pass away. That's my mother. Anyway, I hope you all have a happy and productive 2025, looking forward with joyful hearts, living the Nembutsu teachings with each moment of our precious life. Namo Amida Butsu. Happy New Year to all of you. Namano, namano, namano. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalu Sensei. Well, that was a lot of food for thought. If you're able, please stand for the Gatha at our altar. This can be found in the Praises of the Buddha book on page 16. And then please continue to stand for the Nembutsu and Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 135.
Amen.
life's journey, faith is nourishment. Virtuous deeds are a shelter. Wisdom is the light by day and night. And right mindfulness is a protection by night. If a man lives a pure life, nothing can destroy him. The words of Shakyamuni Buddha, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Please be seated. Well, that concludes our last service of 2024. And that's the last time I'll say that. Dennis Tashiro, our president, will come up and give us the announcements.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Reverend Kalu, for that message. It change. It's happens every second, every day, every month. I used to have nice black hair. But hope 2024 was good to everyone. There were a lot of changes, I'm sure good and bad. And we just need to look forward to 2025. And I guess we have to accept what comes. And, with appreciation, at least we're living, we're breathing, we can enjoy our fellow friends, relatives, and hopefully live a good life. Thank you, Jen, for being the MC. Thank you for Merle for being the greeter, Shirley for ringing the Kansho, Joy for playing the piano, and of course Ryan for recording the service. Next Sunday service will be in the new year, January 5th. It will be a family first Sunday service and New Year's service. We will have an intergenerational activity and refreshments. Well, after refreshments. As part of our refreshments, we'll be serving zenzai, a red bean soup served with mochi. It's a traditional Japanese dessert soup that is commonly eaten during the winter months, especially around New Year's. So I hope you enjoy zenzai. We have received the new Gatha book, Praises of the Buddha, 5th edition. And it's a little bit larger than the brownish one that we have now. So we're going to start using this from next Sunday. Not only is it bigger, but when you open it, the text, the music, the words is larger. It's easier to read. So, okay. And we ordered extra copies. So if you'd like to have your own personal copy, come see me. It's $15 a copy. Okay? Thank you. Don't forget, we have the 2025 Hongwanji calendars. Members, if you haven't already gotten yours, the calendars are on the back table. Let's see, I meant to call Prudence. For next Sunday's intergeneration activity, she'll share with you what we're going to be doing.
Good morning. Okay, some of you might have done this, but I think many of you haven't. So this is what we're going to do. You see, we're going to do tissue art. How many of you did this before? Nobody. Okay, I'll have lots of colored tissue, and you tear off whatever you want, you put them on, and you wet the paper. So when you put the tissue on, it bleeds. So this is not regular tissue. You can't use this in your gift box, because if it gets wet, everything in there is going to bleed. But it's fun to do art. So you don't have to be an artist. Whatever you create is yours. So that's what we'll do next Sunday. Okay? So I expect lots of you to sit at the table.
That's the kind of art I'm good at. Okay, so today being the year-end service, and New Year's is just a few days away, we're going to be doing, after the service, we're all going to go outside, and we're going to ring the Kansho, the bell, 108 times. The 108, it's a symbol of the 108 passions that inflict humans. So in addition to our usual refreshments, also as tradition, will be served soba noodles. Okay? So I asked Gerald to keep count. I think there's about 40-something people, so when you go up there, hit it twice, okay? So that'll be 90-something, and then we'll figure out the difference. So Gerald's our treasurer. He's good at numbers, so. Okay. Any other announcements?
Can I make an announcement too?
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for my long absence this year. I went to the mainland 4 times, 2 for family reasons and 2 for health reasons. But I would like to give special thanks to those of you who were here in my absence in managing the temple, but special thanks to Reverend Bert, who did me a favor of doing the services that I was supposed to do, but I couldn't because I was away. So Reverend Bert, thank you so much. Yeah. I'm glad he's around. Yeah. I always receive something from him, but I never give him something back. But thank you again, Reverend Bert.
You owe Reverend Bert a nice glass of sake or... Okay, so we'll go outside and we'll have Reverend Saul and Reverend Bert ring first, and then we'll follow through, okay? So let's do the words of thanksgiving, and then we'll go outside. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddhist compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Okay.